I will say this, DWP guidance is not law. Okay, you've got to be very, like, it is not law. Data protection and GDPR law will completely top any guidance. Now, as it happens, they're totally misquoting parts here. And I'm just going to read from my other screen here a little bit of what this says before I explain where they're going wrong again. So it says here, Universal Credit Reviews operates through legal powers, namely Part 3 of the Universal Credit Act, I think that's meant to be which is what I've looked up, personal independence payment, job seekers allowance, and employment and support allowance, regulations 2013, which we've just looked at, and they've put a link in there, which was very good because I went and checked their links and all sorts of other things as well. These legal powers allow the department to request information or evidence in relation to an ongoing award, but only if it is fair and proportionate to do so, which is the part that they haven't added onto it. The purpose of your review for this particular person is to ensure your circumstances are correct and up to. Well, in your letter, you tell them that they are, because that's what you are writing to them to tell them. It's not like, I think what they're doing here is like disbelieving, it seems, your statement of truth, which again is another legal discourse they probably don't want to go down. I mean, they wouldn't want to if it was me. During the review, if your circumstances are not up to date, we will support you in making sure your claim is corrected. But again, if you've written to them and said, well, my circumstances are up to date, I do not need to provide my transactional data. And here we have, let's see if I can pull this little bit up here. Right at the end, we ask to review your bank statements as it helps understand your earnings, other incomes, savings, or housing costs. Okay, that's all that is required. Now, if this was me and I was on Universal Credit, okay, I would be going to my mortgage company, or I would be going to my landlord and I would be asking for a statement of account, and I would be providing to them my statement of account for my rent or my mortgage. That's if you are in receipt of housing benefits. I would be producing from my bank the total of my income and any savings that I had. That's all you need to provide. That would be evidence in your capital and your income. And then I might probably go to my bank statement where we have income coming in, and I would make sure that was fully available for them to see, and then I would blank out everything else that I'm spending my money on. Because, and this is the only part that they have got correct in this letter, as Universal Credit is a means tested benefit, your income, your savings and your capital means are reviewed to ensure eligibility remains, and nobody has a problem with that. But everything else is absolute overkill, it's unfair, it is not proportionate, and it breaches data protection and GDPR 1,000 times and more. And quite frankly, whoever has sent this in to me, you really do have every single thing here right now to make a claim against them, because I would do, because in their last paragraph it says, collecting this information unredacted, collecting being the key word, collecting this information, collecting your data, collecting this information unredacted helps build up an accurate picture of your circumstances, which allows us to ensure you are receiving the right universal credit payment and support. There we are. That. While data protection in GDPR law does not allow companies, organisations to collect every single thing about your transactional data, just to double check that you are indeed telling the truth. I mean, if that were the case, right, there would be no need for the police force, would there? There would be no need for the police force, because everything about any kind of criminal activity or event would be shared open wide. So I mean, I can't even believe that they put this nonsense down on paper in black and white, which I really do hope everybody shares out for the whole world to see. I mean, really, this is just deplorable, is not even the word. So, number one, having the power to request evidence is not the same as having unlimited scope over it. Okay? Even in a police investigation, there would be limits for certain things over what could be accessed and what could not be accessed. And I can tell you this, guys, because with all of this, I have recently updated my data protection certificates as director of my company. And I can tell you now that I've looked very deeply in all of the directories in the information I was given to back up what I'm saying to you here. Now, there is a way to deal with this, right? Going into a job centre, ranting, going crazy at someone is not the way to deal with it, right? And that's where some problems are coming from. Most problems do not come from the review itself. Now, technically, they do have the right to do a review, but really they should only be doing a review if there's a change of circumstances. So I don't know why every single person has now been put under a review, because that would be very odd. But apparently they like to waste the taxpayers' money by doing that instead of perhaps helping people find jobs. I mean, if I was the Secretary of State, I know what I would be getting them to focus on. Anyway, so it comes from how you're interpreting these words, and the words that they're using are fear-mongering, mandatory. A lot of this stuff that they're saying is mandatory is not mandatory. Saying that you have to provide things unredacted is also not true, and giving the impression that they have and that they are using legal powers that they have the right to, I don't believe is true either. Now, there are going to be circumstances where they can ask for bank statements, okay? So there are circumstances where that would be relevant, that would be fair, that would be proportionate. So, at the end of the day, the bank statements should be used only for these things: income, savings, capital, housing costs, and I will add on to that maybe in transfers from one account to another. You know, if you've got your universal credit money come in and then you're trying to like save 20 quid a month or 50 quid a month or something, well, that's fine. But if you're suddenly, you know, there's £5,000 come into your account and apparently you're not working, and then you transfer that money out somewhere else, then of course they're going to ask about that, of course. And you would have to explain that with the right evidence. But you do not need to explain every spending transaction, and you should not be expected, in my opinion, to have to provide all of that information unfiltered. Now, to be clear, the data toolkit is not about asking whether or not they have these powers. It's questioning why they've requested them and how they're being applied. And that really is the principle of data protection. And on that note, I'm going to bring something up, actually, for those of you who have got to the end. I have done a couple of free letters, and quite frankly, I don't think I'm going to be doing any more, because I've given you guys the free letters. You've downloaded the free letter, then you reported the email to spam. So right now, every single person who is not actually a paying customer, either in the membership or has something from off system, our other little store where we provide all of our templates and letters, your emails have now all been deleted. So you will never get a free letter ever again. And quite frankly, I'm sorry to have to say that. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry, because I just think that's plain disrespectful. If someone's giving you something for free to help you out of a pretty sticky situation, and then you do that, well, you're going to have to pay for it now. So there we go. Anyway, have a wonderful day, and yeah, carry on fighting the injustice.